Hello, I'm Jamie. For many who don't know me, thank you for coming to watch my presentation, and I hope you enjoy it. Tonight, my topic will be about right to bear arms from the Second Amendment of the Constitution. I chose this topic because I'm very passionate about citizens having the right to own firearms. Another reason is because of my inspiration from my Uncle Dave. To start the topic here is a quote from the Second Amendment saying, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." What the meaning of the quote is saying, the Second Amendment states that as an American citizen, you have you have the individual right to arm yourself. The amendment also firmly establishes that the government cannot infringe on that right. I'm sure you're all wondering, when was the amendment ratified? The Second Amendment was ratified on December 15, 1791, as one of the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, known as the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights expanded upon the Constitution by establishing clear individual rights, limiting the government's power, and further laying the foundation of American freedom. From the NRA's perspective of the Second Amendment, they say, today the Second Amendment remains fundamental to protecting the rights of law-abiding gun owners. Before I share my personal experiences, a quote I found from the Michigan DNR to start is saying why hunter safety is important because the main purpose of the hunter education course is to train safe, legal, and responsible hunters. Now I'll share my personal experiences. My first experience with firearms started with my love of being outdoors, such as hunting, trap, and clay shooting. My other experience is a lot of my family members have ownership of firearms themselves. Also, learning my education in hunter safety. When I shared my personal experiences, let's go back and I'll explain how each one of them connect to my topic. First, I mentioned hunting. I think one of the ways hunting can be a positive thing is providing food for your family. Another positive way, enjoy God's creation of the beautiful scenery He has made. Also a way to connect with Him and reflect peacefully. I had the opportunity to take my friends, Bree, the picture on the left, and Michaela, the picture on the right. Bree and I have the same interests, while Michaela, who normally does not have the exposure of hunting and being outdoors. I asked her what it was like to go hunting with me for the first time. She said it was a fun experience to get out and see what I do while hunting. This was exciting and fun, even though we didn't see anything. I learned the true meaning of patience. Second, I'll explain how marksmanship is important to being part of the Second Amendment. Clay shooting is a shooting sport that is growing very fast today in school districts. This type of sport is for people who enjoy shooting firearms, practice to go duck or pheasant hunting. I will be showing you a clip on how the sport works on a day-to-day basis.
That's Utah Yes's trap shoot. It's the first one of the year. Trap shooting is you go out, there's a trap house, and it throws a clay pigeon, and you shoot 100 targets per event, and it's the best person that can hit the most targets wins it.
We shoot trap, we shoot handicap doubles, regular trap, we shoot skeet and sport plays.
You have rounds of 25. So you just go out and you shoot, and you're squad of 25. So 100 singles is just like 4 rounds of 25.
There's an Eddie Oakley, which is a game, and that's where everyone stands up in a line, and you kind of like shoot next to each other, and you knock each other out. But if you miss one and the next person hits it, then you get knocked out.
I've been shooting ever since I was little, but I've been on the team for about 2 years, and it was one of my friends that got me into shooting.
I've been doing it since I was 8 years old. I've always wanted to find an outdoor sport, whether it was like archery, just anything outdoorsy. And I found shooting, and it's just kind of stuck with me ever since I was 8.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that guns are a bad thing, and they're really not. You can have lots of fun throughout the day and shoot competitively, and nobody gets hurt if you know how to use them.
Good eyesight, cardio, strong cardio, core muscle. You need a little bit of everything. The eyesight's a main one. You need muscle endurance, muscle memory, hand-eye coordination. Just a lot that goes into play.
Just follow the rules and just stay calm and don't let stuff get into your head, I guess. It's a mental game. I enjoy shooting because it's something that a bunch of people can bond over and have a lot of fun with and just like a fun hobby.
My favorite thing is that it's something I love to do, and that's like with the people I love to do it with. Like it's just really fun. I really enjoy the social aspect, and that's what's my favorite thing.
Just come out here and give it all your best. Keep smashing plays.
The reason I love clay shooting because of learning the challenges. For example, knowing your timing of when to fire. Also knowing the distance of when to lean more or less to stay aiming at the clay. The challenges help me to grow as a marksmanship. Even if you are not very good, it is still fun to do the event with others who are knowledgeable and new to the sport. Today, I participate in our school's Clay Target League, where I compete with other schools such as Manton or Marion. Since I've joined the league, I've made some new friends who have the same interests as me. Last, I'll explain when I mention about my family. My family has taught me responsible gun ownership, valuing of owning a weapon, and working at the harbor. During my time working at Eagles Harbor last summer, I learned more in depth about firearms from my Uncle Dave. My favorite memory with my uncle is when he taught me about the safety, responsibilities, and valuing authorities as a gun salesman because you're trusting a customer who purchased a firearm to a gun to make sure they know what they're doing is appropriate behavior. I'm sure you're all questioning, how should a Christian view bearing arms? I found a quote by Mary Fairchild, who wrote a blog about, as a Christian, should we defend ourselves? And wondering if we should bear arms. Nowhere does the Bible forbid Christians from bearing arms, but wisdom and caution are of the utmost importance if one does choose to bear a lethal weapon. Anyone who owns and carries a firearm should be properly trained and know and carefully follow all safety rules and laws pertaining to such a responsibility. A verse from Luke 22, verse 36. He said to them, "But now if you have a purse, take it, and also a bag, and if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. This verse means to me is about Jesus himself saying, you have the right to defend yourself from those who do us harm. We will be watching an interview I did with my cousin Stephanie about her perspective of the Second Amendment. Thank you for being part of my project, and I enjoyed interviewing you.
Little bit of gun control is a good thing. I think it's a very important thing to have all guns registered to their owners. That it's important to have a record of that kind of thing. But I don't believe that guns should be able to be taken away from people. I think people should be able to own what they want, and I think they should own kind of firearm that suits their needs. I don't think that there should be a limit on what they own. But I do think that it's important for guns to be registered to the person that they are owned to. The responsibilities that they have for owning a gun, I think it's important to have a background check done. Everybody can pass a background check to own a gun. I think that they should be of age, or at least have taken hunter safety or some sort of gun safety course with the right to bear arms. I think the Second Amendment is very important, and I think that it needs to be kept in our society at all times. I think that all people have the right to bear arms in their own way, whether that be for hunting or personal protection or for sporting. Everyone needs to be able to have that right and that ability in their lives, whether that be for personal carry or, like I said, for sporting or for hunting. It's very important that the Second Amendment be kept going in our society.
After doing the interview, this gave me a better understanding how gun control can be beneficial, but this also can infringe the right of a citizen. When learning about the Second Amendment, it gave me a better perspective of understanding how this right is impactful to a lot of gun owners. I also learned how safety and protection is our top priority.
Little bit of gun control is a
Now I'll end the topic on how has NNCS prepared me to be a responsible gun owner. NNCS has prepared me to having wise teachers. I found a verse from Titus 2, verse 7 through 8, saying, show yourself in all respects to be a model of good works, and in your teaching show integrity, dignity, and sound speech that cannot be condemned, so that an opponent may be put to shame, having nothing evil to say about us. This verse made me think, for example, when we ask our teachers a question, sometimes they don't know the answer. When our teacher can't think of an answer, they don't make a rash answer, but they take their time to find the answer. Another way NNCS has prepared me is making wise choices. A verse I thought was fitting to wise choices is from Proverbs 2, verse 6, saying, for the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. This reminded me of times in my life where I wanted to make reckless choices, but my parents intervened and they tell me why I shouldn't make the choice. This is how God puts people in our lives, such as our family, friends, teachers, and coaches to help us grow as a Christian. Tying back to when making a reckless choice with firearms, it can be a deadly consequence. Last, NNC has prepared me to seek counsel of those who are older. A verse from Proverbs 12:15 says, "The way of fools seems right to them, but the wise listen to advice." This made me think of a time during my clay shooting practice. My gun was jammed, but I didn't know what to do in that situation because I didn't want to harm myself. I asked my coach, and my coach helped me get my gun unjammed. My coach gave me knowledge and advice if I ever had that situation again. If I did not ask my coach to help me, I could have potentially harmed myself. And thank you again.